Weapons ready if we need them.
They're taking the structure.
Too late. The Breen have it.
Coming up, Captain Burnam and the Discovery crew embark on an audacious and perilous mission to reclaim the progenitor tech from the clutches of the Breen.
They're gonna find us any second.
I just need a few more minutes to get the containment field down.
We don't have a few more minutes. We need that field down now.
Will they execute this daring operation flawlessly, or will it come up at a steep price?
All this and more.
Coming up on the Star Trek Discovery edition of Energize.
Energize.
We're going into the uncharted regions of the Star Trek universe 1,000 years after James T. Kirk.
You're listening to Energize, a Star Trek Discovery Edition podcast, your source for detailed analysis, colorful debate, and spirited discussions about the final adventures of Captain Michael Burnam and the USS Discovery crew.
I'm your host, Anthony McLemore.
And I'm Steve Truitt. This week, a bold away mission sees a disguised Captain Burnam, Book, and members of the bridge crew infiltrating the formidable Breen dreadnought in a bid to retrieve the progenitor tech before they unlock its potential.
However, chaos erupts when their cover is unexpectedly compromised, leaving them with no means of escape.
Here's a warp speed recap of Season 5, Episode 9 of Star Trek Discovery, Lagrange Point.
Maul and the Breen are almost at the coordinates.
Any other good news?
Red alert!
Captain, we have a warp signal incoming. It's Rune's dreadnought.
Weapons ready if we need them.
They're taking the structure.
Asha!
I can't get us there in time.
Can you stop the tractor beam from here?
We'd have to drop our cloak.
It doesn't matter. Too late. The Breen have it.
Our scan data from the run-in with the Breen shows there's a gap in the shield coverage right at the exhaust port. That's a weakness, and that's where we'll infiltrate.
They're gonna find us any second.
I just need a few more minutes to get the containment field down.
We don't have a few more minutes. We need that field down now.
Oh, got it. Commander, stand by. We're attaching the transport lug now.
Not so dead after all.
Yes.
All right, Steve, this was a fantastic episode. I was completely blown away.
Oh my God. I can't breathe. I need to catch my breath. Wow. Visually stunning. Of course, directed by the inimitable Jonathan Frakes. Wonderfully well done. So many exciting things. Oh, I can't wait to get into this one.
And there's just something about Jonathan Frakes. You know when he touches an episode, when he's directing it, it plays out differently, and the proof was in the pudding.
Yep.
So, with flowers in hand, Saru beams into a flurry of activity at Starfleet HQ.
My dearest Tarina, it is good to see you again.
And you, sir.
If I may, I cannot help but notice concern in your demeanor. That and all of the activity, is something amiss?
Tarina briefs Saru on Discovery's encounter with the Breen and current status.
It's cute to see them together. I'm happy to see him back. I don't know if this is part of the month reshoot that they did. Did they reshoot these last two episodes in that prevailing month? I want to know because he was gone for 2 episodes, and will he be back now? Are they going to bring back the other bridge crew with the Enterprise, ISS? So I'm curious to see this, but there they are and they see each other and it's kind of charming.
Yeah, but we're in the midst of chaos. So the Federation president convenes a meeting, and she's gotten word of the Breen Primarch's death at the hands of Maul, and it has spread, causing destabilization amongst the Breen.
As you can imagine, it would, because here it is. Here's this outsider. Some may not know she has a claim to whatever she's claiming to Locke's, whatever. She's his wife, whatever. But one of the Breen Primarch is like, okay, we're gonna take our own matters into our own hand, and they're now in pursuit of the dreadnought.
Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, how's this going to play out? So I'm already amped up because I feel like there's going to be some big battle. It's going to get ugly real fast, and it's going to be chaos, and right.
And Discovery's obviously outmatched, which is fine because right now their tactical advantages, nobody even knows that they're around. People think they got destroyed.
Yes, at least from the Breen standpoint, and so. But these reinforcements that the Federation's sending is not going to reach the Discovery in time. So they're basically hanging out there on their own.
It's so funny to me that the go-to default tactic in Star Trek is to always say, you're the only ship in the sector. Like, it happens all the time. We don't have any other ships in the sector. They won't be here for a week. Like, oh, okay, really? That's always what happens.
Can we travel in pairs?
Yeah, exactly. How about
space,
that?
I would like more than one ship.
I'd like to institute the buddy system from now on in the Starfleet.
Yes, it's like chips.
Yeah, like chips. Exactly right. They were never without each other.
Poncherello
the USS
John.
Ponch and the USS John.
Yeah, we're showing our age.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, we need to go. Maul and the Breen are almost at the coordinates.
Any other good news?
Primarch to Hall may be coming too.
So, Burnam informs Raynor that Maul and the Breen are headed, to where Discovery is, and are like right behind them.
Right
it won't
there.
be long before they get there.
Yeah.
And so Raynor updates Burnam on repairs to Discovery. The spore drive has issues,
right.
And they're kind of screwed. So Stamets informs Burnham that they can't jump accurately. They can jump, but you can't guarantee the precision of that jump. So the nav system is off.
I like this. I like that sometimes things don't work. And by the way, after that, back broken jump from last week, when they came out after the Breen thought they destroyed them, they were a mess. I mean, that ship was bad. And so I like that they're just a little bit hamstrung. They're bouncing on one foot here. I thought that was a good thing. It's not like, yeah, we did all the repairs, we're good to go. It's like, no, we may not make it to the right spot. I love it.
Yep. And so Burnham says, well, we gotta do what we gotta do. So she orders the jump. They land at the edge of two black holes, narrowly escaping being pulled into one of them.
Dude.
I was just like, God dang.
Red alert! Stamets, where are we?
Okay, I got us as close as I could with a margin of error in the nav system damage. What the hell's happening to the view screen?
Those are gravity distortions.
Well, we've landed in the accretion disk of a black hole, Captain.
It's just stunning visually, because now black holes have become, ever since Interstellar, they've been really beautifully, visually stunning things that people are starting to do artist rendering of. And here you've got a binary system here. Well, they find out that it's actually a binary system because they get there and they're stuck in this, what's called an accretion disk. And they're getting pulled right in. I like this too. It's like almost like a version of beaming, halfway through a wall by accident. And you're stuck in the wall, right? They beam right into the accretion disk, and the first thing they have to do is get out of there.
Yeah, and as they're pulling out, they pull away, but then they see this giant but small in relationship to everything else, this canister, a shuttle-sized canister positioned between the two black holes. And so just as they're getting ready to pull it in, the Breen ship arrives and swipes the canister before Discovery can retrieve it.
Captain, we have a warp signal incoming. It's Rune's dreadnought.
How long till they're here?
Right now.
Weapons ready if we need them.
They're taking the structure.
Asha!
I can't get us there in time.
Can you stop the tractor beam from here?
We'd have to drop our cloak.
Doesn't matter, too late.
The Breen have it.
So what happened here? I kind of missed this a little bit. First of all, brilliant to put it between two black holes. I don't know how it's stabilized there, but that must be the Lagrange point that they're all talking about. Within the Lagrange point, that's where gravity, cancels out. So I guess that's what that meant. But how did they not grab it? Like, the Breens show up and they're like, boop, grab it, we're out. I'm like, see, exactly. Why did you give them the key, damn it?
Well, I mean, Discovery was trying to keep themselves from getting sucked into a black hole, and then they got to a point where they could stop. But and then before she can make the order, they beamed it aboard. That would have been my first thing. Beam that mug aboard. But
yeah.
But they beat them. So
so
So at this point, I'm just like, okay, well, they got it, but they still going to need Burnham. Burnham, the Breen don't know what Burnham knows. So
Right.
I'm in. So this is getting fun. And so Burnham and company review scans of the object. Maul has the key to it, but Burnham reveals that in the mindscape, she was told there would be another obstacle, and she was told how to beat it.
Initial scans of the object show this. It appears to be a small opening or access point. If you compare it with the map of clues we gathered...
It's keyhole. Maul has a key.
Yeah, but it's not enough alone to gain access to the progenitor's technology.
So Maul won't know that. So we do have a tactical advantage here. And Burnham was given a phrase: "Build the shape of the one between the many." I'm just like, what? This sounds like a hodgepodge of the needs of the many outweigh
the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. So maybe Vulcans are the closest to the progenitors, but that's why I appreciated that little extra nuance in last week's Labyrinth when he goes, wait, before you go, there's one more clue that no one else will know. So that really gets put to use here. It is a strange thing to say, build the shape of the one between the many. I hope that ends up being something really awesome. Or they're like, shit, we got to come up with something. Just, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, and it's build the shape of the one between the many. Maybe they mean build the shape of the progenitor that started it for all. That's my read.
But between the many, right? So the one could be the original, if you like Adam or Eve, but between the many, that I wonder if that represents a bridge between enemies. Maybe it's not the many, but the enemy. Maybe she heard it wrong.
Oh yeah, well we'll see. Well, the great advantage is that the Breen thinks that the Discovery has been destroyed. So. This is great, but they have the disadvantage of they can't beam out the object from the Breen ship without dropping their shields.
Our scan data from the run-in with the Breen shows there's a gap in the shield coverage right at the exhaust port. That's a weakness, and that's where we'll infiltrate. We'll fly a shuttle in and we'll beam aboard from there.
Right, so there's like a whole discussion going on here where it's like, okay, how are we going to do this? Maul's got the key. We got to get in there. We got to go get it. And that's when that whole discussion starts.
Yep. And so Adira proposes attaching a transport lock to the structure inside the Breen ship, which will allow them to beam it out. But they'll have to go on board to do this. And so I'm like, okay, this is going to be hot.
And here they talk about what's going to happen. And we see this a little bit. But this is going to be exciting. And they're going to mess up at some point because this is a devilish plan. And I don't know who said it. Maybe it was Rayner. He's like, this is ridiculous. This is insane. He literally says it's insane.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, they go in the belly of the beast, basically. And so, so they're going to have to, so the basis of the plan is to go through the Dreadnought's exhaust ports with two teams, and one will board the ship and work on compromising the systems to lower the shields, and the other will attach the transport lock to the structure. And Adira is going to be going on this mission. I'm not confident about that.
All right, I'll say they. So they're like, listen, I can do this. She should have said we can do this. But she literally says, I can do this. And I like how Stamets has kind of taken them under his wing. Like, are you sure? Let me go. I'll do it. And Adira's like, no, I can do this. And this is all part of her growth throughout this season, which has been nice.
Yes.
Not overdone.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see them become more than what they were in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so the great thing is that, hey, the Breen wear suits. So we can all be disguised as Breen.
Now, here's what's great about it. They look great. The suits work. Here's what's strange about it. Adira's 4 feet tall. Booker's 6.5 feet tall. And it's kind of like, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper kind of thing? Because once they get on the ship, or once they're in their costumes, so to speak, you can see the size difference. And it seems to be all Breen like I said last week, look alike, and they all seem like they're the same height.
Right. Well, I guess, statistically, I guess there would be some shorter or taller Breen. So
I guess so.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But aboard the Breen ship, you see a minion asserts the completed key that lets a minion do it into the structure. So the structure opens, and that minion is ordered to enter and is immediately sucked in. You do it.
What the hell just happened? Where'd he go? What are we looking at? What do you know?
Our soldier no longer registers on scans. This appears to be an extra-dimensional gateway to where we cannot yet say.
The progenitor's tech must be on the other side then.
Yeah. It's this bright light opens up. There's a lot of green.
Yeah.
It's the whole ship's loaded in green, and this thing opens up. And here's what I'm thinking at first. Like, it's shaped like a soda can. It's the size of a Volkswagen. Is that really it? And then it turns out it's not. It's some kind of something that sucks him in. And again, I'm like, great, thank you, another layer. I love that it's not that easy. Because I was starting to get upset that it might have been too easy to find all these clues. But now here's another kind of sideways bend to it. Guy just completely disappears, and they're all like, what?
Yeah, it appears he's gone into an interdimensional gateway. And, as...
Maybe. Or he's vaporized. We don't know.
Yep. And so as the Breen scientists run tests, Maul places Locke's body in a portable pattern buffer, which we've seen this done with Scotty and
of course
TNG and,
the Janolan.
Yep. And then the Doc on Strange New Worlds did that for his daughter. And so...
Yeah. Do you remember the guy who was with Scotty on the Janolan when they crashed onto the Dyson Sphere? If you could say his name... I'm going to send you $10. You can't look it up.
Okay, well, no, I don't know.
Franklin. His name was Franklin.
Franklin.
Yeah. Franklin deserved better.
Yeah. His pattern disintegrated, so
That's right.
Technically, he's dead.
That's a shame.
Yeah. And so,
he's not half the man he used to be, is what we're saying.
Exactly.
How long will shields hold at that temperature?
About 60 seconds.
And after that?
The shuttle burns to a crisp.
Glad I asked.
Our sensors indicate we're entering the exhaust field.
Okay, 60 seconds starts. Now.
So the mission has begun. So atmospheric conditions destroy the away team shuttle, and they're forced to beam into a random spot on the ship. And immediately Burnham and company encounter a Breen soldier who questions their presence in that particular area. And Burnham does this great role play of admonishing the subordinates that are with her. What are you doing? What did I tell you not to do?
Yeah, once it takes a second because their universal translators need a second to spin up, and then it works, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, bye-bye," and off they go.
Yeah. Well, the people that question them was like, "Oh, I'm not getting in between a higher up admonishing, the way things usually play out."
So,
you just be like,
I
don't want to be a part of that. Yep.
I send this message to the eminent Breen Primarch Tahal of the Third Flight. This is President Lara Rillick of the United Federation of Planets. I request an immediate audience on a matter of utmost urgency.
So back at Starfleet HQ, Starfleet president, who is, I think she's half Cardassian, is that right? And half human?
I think so, yeah.
Because she's got very light Cardassian features.
And Bajoran.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. She's trying to make contact with the Breen Primarch. They're trying to find Maul, but they keep ignoring, like, send out another hail. Nope. They're getting it, but they're not paying attention to it. And she's thinking, you know what, I'm going to have to do this diplomatically and do it the right way. And Saru, well, actually it says, well, I'm going to need to go with somebody. And Trina says, well, I'll prepare a list of people. And Saru's like, I'll do it. And you can see immediately Trina's like, uh-oh, I don't want you going. And she kind of takes off.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's it's funny. Vulcans, even though they don't have emotions, you can read their emotions. They do have emotions, they just suppress them. So, but you can still read a Vulcan. The longer you get
they're not telling you.
Yeah. The longer you spend time with Vulcans, you can still read their very subtle fits of emotion. Yeah. So aboard the Breen ship, Burnham, his team with Book. And she takes a moment to share her realizations from the experience in the Mindscape and apologizes to Book for the way she handled their relationship.
It's an awkward time to do it, I'll say, and they're doing it through these. They're doing it through the masks.
Hey, step over here for a second. I know we got this mission.
Yeah.
It's a race against time.
Yeah, listen,
but-
we might die, so let me talk to you through a Tony Stark Iron Man mask.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting choice where they had the heads-up display. I'm always disappointed when people do that because it's like everyone knows what that's from, but I guess they had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I found it to be a very strange time and a very strange thing to do right at that moment. And I wanted him to say something like, I want it to be female male, like have him go, really? Now? Right now? Really? Like, but they didn't play that up. I thought that would have been funny.
Yeah, it would have been funny.
Our scientists have been unable to determine what's inside the gateway. They believe the only way to get reliable data is to send someone inside with the proper equipment.
Choose your most trusted soldier.
So the Breen scientists haven't been able to acquire any conclusive data. So someone with monitoring equipment is going to have to go.
Yeah. and a tether.
Yeah.
And a tether, right?
Yeah.
They tie him to a tether.
So Team B has made their way to the bridge. They begin work on compromising the shields. And so Adair and Reese, work. That's what they're doing. They're working on bringing the shields down. So we'll see how that plays out. But in the meantime, Raynor preps Discovery. Burnam and Book overcome a guard to access the Breen shuttle bay, which I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to last long when somebody's missing. So Burnam works to take down the containment field around the structure, and Maul's alerted that guards are missing from their post.
Right, and those are the ones that just got knocked out.
Yeah.
Now, normally what would be interesting is, or what they, if you watch a comedy or something, they beam on, they knock the people out, they steal their uniforms. That's kind of what Han Solo did and Luke Skywalker, right? In this case, they're leaving evidence behind and or missing people. And so, of course, the word's going to get out. Now, Maul orders ship put in full lockdown and that everybody has to have their credentials checked moving forward. But I'm wondering, does she know what's going on? Does she still think Discovery's destroyed? What is she thinking? I want to know. Does she smell something? Or is she just and all of a sudden she's giving orders. Like all of a sudden giving orders.
Well,
and it's a hell of a jump.
Yeah, well, she's the wife. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Happy wife, happy ship.
There you go. It's a little thin, but at the same time, she's giving info, and you wouldn't not do it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
So Saru prepares to leave. We're back at Federation HQ. So Saru prepares to leave Tarina, and she drops by, and it's kind of an emotional moment. I mean, because she's basically, without saying it, she's fearful.
You have only just returned. I'm sorry you must depart again.
I know you did not want this. The list you offered to draw up at the meeting. I understand your desire to protect me.
Right. It's like, listen, we just got engaged. You've been gone. She should have said you've been off the show for 2 episodes. He's just getting back and their wedding's coming up and he's got to now assure her where he's been insecure in the past. Now he's assuring her that he would never compromise his duty. And she's just like, please try to come back. Please return to me.
Yeah, it was a good moment because somebody's got to die.
Do you think
the show ends? Somebody's going to die.
You think so? Well, I guess if they're ending the series, who do you think it's going to be?
Somebody will make the ultimate sacrifice. It will be Burnham.
If it's Raynor, I'm going to be very disappointed because I'm just starting to like him, and I don't think he's a spy anymore.
It's Burnham or Saru.
Interesting. I wonder if Burnham. Burnham's a really strong character and a captain. I don't think you kill off a captain. You never kill off a captain.
Well, we'll see. They may surprise us.
I mean, they did kill Kirk, but
that was a terrible death. Okay. It was
yeah,
fun.
That was a mistake.
It was fun.
We all agree.
Boo!
It was fun. Not for us.
He didn't even get a chance to get on the bridge of the Enterprise. And then in some other versions, because I remember in the original trailer or something like that, he was actually on the bridge of the Enterprise D, and he says, let's cheat death together. I remember seeing it, and I know I'm not blind. I know I saw that.
Cut it out.
Yep.
They cut it out.
Yeah.
Damn.
They're gonna find us any second.
I just need a few more minutes to get the containment field down.
We don't have a few more minutes. We need that field down now.
So more Breen soldiers are placed on guard. Burnham and Book, face imminent discovery, basically, for no pun intended.
They're about to get discovered, sure, and they're trying to get the force field lowered so they can, hatch a plan and get that thing out of there.
Yep, and meantime, Raynor decides to reveal discovery to the Breen. We're not dead.
He does this. It's a great play. And you know what? It's in this moment that I like Raynor. I have not liked him, not just his character, because he plays his character well, and I go, boo, Raynor, but because I just wasn't sure he was being written well. I certainly don't love his ears and the way they made those. All of a sudden, in this moment, I'm so glad this happened, he's taking over. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to be the cocky ne'er-do-well. I'm not going to be the alternate guy who's always challenging authority. Shit needs to get done, and I'm going to handle it. And he makes this decision, and everyone on the bridge is like, what are you doing? What? Tilly, of course, the class is like, what are we doing? What?
Yeah, he's balls out.
He does it. It's brilliant. It's such a good moment.
Yep, and this is a bad time, reveal it and let the distract so that the Burnham and Book and company can complete their mission. So Maul, so Maul orders Breen to go weapons hot. Raynor tells Maul that Burnham died during the attack, and Raynor says the other Primarch is heading their way, and Raynor offers protection in exchange for the tech, which of course Maul rejects.
Maul rejects because she's just like, I just want to. First of all, she doesn't believe in Starfleet at all. Right. Screw you guys. I just want my boyfriend back, right? And I think at this point now she's really winging it because all this shit's happening. Suddenly Discovery's back. Her own soldiers are missing. It's a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a long day.
Oh yeah. So Burnham and Book attach the transport lock to the structure, but Maul intervenes and they are captured.
Got it. Commander, stand by. We're attaching the transport lock now.
Transpo lock. Clever. Lose your helmets. Not so dead after all.
Yeah, she's starting to walk away, and I'm thinking, okay, we can do it. As soon as they attach the transporter, she puts a phaser on him and like, oh, interesting, instant transport. Like she kind of knew. She came back. Something told her to go back, and she did. And they're busted. Yep.
And so Raynor and Reese, Raynor informs Reese and Adira of Book and Burnham's capture and tells them to prepare to drop the Breen shields. Burnham in a coded message tells the story of being attached to the hull of Maul and locked ship. She's talking, to Raynor, and tells the story. Remember,
it was that. Yeah, it's that opening scene of the entire season.
Yep, exactly.
Wait. I haven't gotten a chance to give my Grum of Asakad, as the saying goes.
Asakad. It's a message. She's sending me a message.
So Raynor gets the clue and tells Discovery to prepare to rip through the shuttle base's containment by ramming it.
Right. She's like, Stamets, get ready, for shielding. Let's, blah, 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 and he explains it. And again, this is where Tilly's like, what are we doing? She's so funny. And he's like, we're gonna blow it out. She's like, but that'll blow them out. And he's like, yeah, we'll beam them up and the thing. And she's like, okay.
So crazy. It's a bold movement. I love it.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
She's hilarious.
And again, it's great. Now, by the way, there was a moment earlier where, and you and I don't love these moments, but this one was a very short one, where Tilly did say to Raynor, I notice you pace around a lot. You never sit in the chair. And he's like, mind your own business, basically. And, it's true. He has not sat back in that chair since he was demoted. And what I'm seeing right now is a guy who's worthy of the chair because he's starting to make real decisions.
Yeah, and he does. He finally, in this moment, when he executes this order, he sits in a chair and it's like, Raynor's in charge.
I have to go in there.
Wait, we do not know what is inside.
If I can't bring Locke back, I might as well be dead.
No.
Ready to beam you, Captain.
Not yet. Just gonna go in. Cover me.
Maul realizes what Discovery's about to do and decides to go inside the structure herself, forcing Burnham to do the same.
It's a big moment. Because she doesn't know what's going in there. She tells the guy earlier, I'd rather be dead than without Locke. No one knows what's in there, with the exception of, I think we know that it's got to be something other than just a disintegration machine. That wouldn't make sense. So yeah, Maul goes in and Burnham's like, I'm going. And she turns to Book at this last second and they share this really great moment where they've both apologized. They've both realized that they've made mistakes with each other. And she's like, I got to do what I got to do. This is the mission. And she goes in and you see on his face how devastating that is to him. And I think it's just a brilliant moment. It's just a great moment for her to go in there and do it. Because we know, we got one episode left. This whole episode's going to be about what's going on in there.
Yep. And so she goes in. Discovery flies into the shuttle bay. Everything's sucked out. The container, but the container starts breaking up under the gravitational forces.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, at least that's what it seemed like to me. But
yeah, it just started blowing up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but then the portal itself is intact, and so Rayner finally assumes the chair. He's sitting there. Failure is not an option.
Well, he's standing there and he says, failure, not an option. And everyone looks at him like, okay, this guy's a leader and he's someone. Here's your arc, right? We've been waiting for this guy since we first met him when he was being a dick. You've got 20 seconds to tell me about you, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, failure's not an option. We're going to go get our captain. We're going to save everybody. Then he sits down. And what does he say? He goes, all right, let's do it.
And boom, boom, boom.
Or something like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Or let's get it done or something.
Great cliffhanger.
Very cool. Yeah, for sure. Great Jonathan Frakes, as usual, auteur.
Yes.
Telling us a great story.
Yeah, so I was thrilled. It was a great ending to the I forgot the proper term for the episode before the end.
The penultimate episode. Here's what I'm wondering. What the hell's going to happen? You want to try to make some guesses? First of all, what's going to happen? And secondly, who dies?
I think somebody's going to die. I think the progenitor tech, they're going to realize this is too much for any one power for any one person to have. Locke will be revived, and they'll just be like, you know what, this isn't cool for... And Maul will join in and be like, you know what, I don't think this power deserves to go to the Breen, but it doesn't deserve to go to you either. And Burnham will agree, and then she says, I will take this into the future another 1,000 years. Bye, Burnham!
I'm going to the year 4000, where there's been another burn, and the Admiral has another beard. No, I think that's an interesting take on it. I think if somebody dies, it's either going to be Rayner, because he can, or a big character, maybe like Saru. Maybe Doug Jones is done being Saru. But I don't think the main characters go. I think that what I'd love to see is that Burnham goes in and maybe never comes back out, but becomes more of a 4-dimensional creature like she did in season 2 when she became the winged whatever it is. And she visits everyone and says...
Will she become Cisco?
No. In season 2 of Discovery, where she takes on that flight suit.
She becomes the Red Angel.
The Red Angel. Yeah. And maybe she's like something more. And she's like, I'm free now. I'm good. And I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I agree with you. I think the progenitor tech never gets actually taken or used, obviously. I think Maul dies trying to do it, because she should. And yeah, Discovery's like, we need to hide this again. And maybe that's what they do. Maybe that's a Discovery movie. We're going to hide I don't know. I would love for there to be a Discovery movie.
Yeah, I just think that kind of power, I don't trust anybody to have, because I just don't think there's anyone that's good enough to make those kind of decisions. I wouldn't want to make those kind of decisions. I do think there's probably some people who can make good decisions with it, but you just don't know who that really is.
I feel like...
And that much power corrupts.
Yes, but I feel like... I feel like maybe this is stupid of me, but I feel like I could make good decisions with it. I wouldn't hurt anybody. I would create opportunities for everyone to have everything, very capitalistic yet communistic society where everyone, gives and everyone has the same. And happiness is the goal, not money or whatever, power. Probably fall apart in a day.
Because there's always going to be someone who wants to take it from you so they can gain the upper hand.
Yeah, there's always going to be some jerk who comes along and screws it up.
Yes, but that's my lack of faith in humanity. So, except for a small short list of folks you included. So, yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Well,
back at you.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to the final episode and everything, and so we'll see where this all, how this all comes to an end, and how this is going to play out. So.
Me too. And I never thought I'd say these words. I'm really going to miss Discovery, and I'm gonna be intrigued to see what kind of campaign happens after this with the fans, because they were already asking for Star Trek Legacy. They're already saying don't do the. There's a lot of voices out there saying stuff. So let's see what happens. Maybe Discovery gets a reprieve. I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right.
Next.
Well, that concludes this episode of the Star Trek Discovery edition of Energize.
Hey, guys, thanks so much for listening. We love having you around. You can check out Anthony at anthonymclemore.com. You can check out my new book, which has dropped. It's called The Mindset Chronicles, Book 2, The Spill. It's on Amazon right now. We're doing a promotion, so you can go get a free copy on Kindle this week. We'd love for you to read it and maybe leave a review on Amazon. Thanks so much for doing that, guys. We'll see you next week for the season finale and series finale of Discovery.
Thanks for listening. I'm Anthony McLemore.
I'm Steve Truitt. Live long and prosper.